Welcome to Mill Hill, or the environs of Mill Hill, and this is the rather noisy A41, or the Watford Way I think it's called at this section, maybe even the Hendon Way. Anyway, I'm just going to show you some relic which a lot of people are aware of, but not everyone. That is Buns Lane, which goes into Mill Hill, which is Northwest 7, London Northwest 7, and then over here through the trees is a site that's been cleared off recently, and they're obviously getting ready to build something. There's been a lot of dispute about what was going to be built here. It was the site of a retail park called Pentavia Retail Park, and there used to be a home base, Argos, some other bits and pieces like electrical store, and then you got this little road here which has been all cleaned up, but this used to be a road that used to connect through onto the M1 as a slip road, and this was in service until probably the 1990s. I remember it still being in existence. It goes through the other side of the A41, and then there's a junction on the other side of the road a bit further down. So this is quite an interesting stage of transition. There had been some talk that I think Amazon were going to build a warehouse on this site, a big distribution depot. It's probably more than likely there had been talk at one point of a whole load of housing going up, some big blocks that would go up. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure that will become clear, and you can probably say in the comments if you do know. But yeah, this slip road is quite interesting. It's I haven't seen it looking like this actually, but it was at one point there was a lot of dispute about the fact that there was a lot of fly tipping down here, which local residents were not keen about for obvious reasons. So the reason why I'm doing this video is I'm walking down towards what it's called the K Garage, the motor showrooms, and it's a brutalist showrooms, and it's something that I have done an article about on my WordPress account, which is called Words by Mark Amy's. And it's a piece of brutalist architecture from the mid-1960s, which has survived, like a lot of things these days. It's pretty awful actually. If you think about Mill Hill, often would sort of describe itself as being quite posh and well-to-do. This doesn't look very posh and well-to-do, but to be fair to Mill Hill, it is sitting on the outside of Mill Hill as you move towards Five Ways Corner down here. So the brutalist car showroom that I mentioned is coming up in the distance. Let's just close in. You can see the word Nissan on that building. That is the old K Garage. So it's been on this site since the mid-1960s, probably by 65, 66 I think it was finished, and I love it, and I love it that much that I'm going to do a little piece to camera for something called Brutalist London on Instagram, which I follow, because they have rather kindly asked me if I could do a sort of top 5 of buildings that I like, and this is going to be one of them. I'm going to go against the grain because not a lot of people actually talk about this building, and it doesn't get much press, so which is another reason why I did that article. And that article was done in 2014, so it's quite a long time ago now. It's a busy road, this. So this is I think this is the A41, or it could be the M1. I cannot remember actually. It's not the M1 or the A1 maybe. I always get myself mixed up with what road it actually is. So that's a bit rubbish, isn't it really? But I do know that the M1 is on the other side. Now I mentioned slip roads before. What we're coming up to here with this Marks and Spencer's and BP petrol station, this used to be a turn-off area for the original junction to take you from the A1 or A41, whatever this is, onto the M1. And there is some footage that exists on YouTube from British Pathe, which shows you that turn off in the late 60s, early 1970s. Fascinating, with some hitchhikers all sort of thumbing a lift. So I mean, this is all, unless you're interested in all this sort of minutiae, this video is terribly boring and you'll probably switch off soon. So not very thrilling, but I'm just going to waffle on as I often do. So yes, this would have been a turn off just in front of the petrol station and there would have been a loop that would have taken you onto the M1. This is before the junction onto the M1 at Staples Corner, which opened up I think in 1977-78. So before that time, if you wanted to get onto the M1 in this area, you'd have to take this turning off onto the M1 at this point. And this is why this station, this petrol, well, there used to be a petrol station at this car showrooms in the base. It used to be a national, or national benzol, but national petrol station in the base of the building. And apparently, according to some local residents who mentioned it to me, that there was a sort of sign or a slogan which was your last opportunity to buy petrol before you hit the M1 and go up north. So where these cars are going now, that would have been the slip road. They would have carried on there and then gone around the corner. Bit of a mess around here, as you can see. There's a subway here, but it's this will take you over the M1. I might as well show you the M1 whilst I'm here. I mean, if you're going to make this boring, let's do it properly, eh? So yeah, we're pretty much following the route of where the road would have turned off from the junction and the slip road. It's really dodgy around here. I mean, it's just like so tatty and dirty and unkempt. Lovely bit of a vibrant bush there with all the berries on it. Look at that. Wow. And then this one, which is all these seed cases that burst open. Don't ask me what it is. More berries here. You can tell we are now in the middle of October. Look at the state of this sign. It's just terminal neglect. It's like so much stuff. Certainly in London, just basically just complete neglect through, I don't know, lack of interest or just a lack of want to try and keep things maintained. There's just no money in the pot, I don't know. That's the London Midland rail line going through up to the Midlands and the north. So yes, that slip road that I mentioned would have come off at this point. So they would have come off here, and then I think there was a sort of, to slow traffic down, there was a sort of spiral, and then it would have taken you onto the motorway so that you could go to London that way, and then to the north that way. So this is the M1, which was opened up in, I think, 1967, 66, 67, when this was done. Oh, look, I'm filming stuff and everybody's beeping their horns. Over that way, if I'd been on this bridge, which probably didn't exist at that point anyway, but that was where Hendon Aerodrome was. So all these buildings you can see in the foreground, that was the outer perimeter of Hendon Aerodrome, RAF Hendon. Which, you know, that's another video I suppose, but that's the object of my quest today. The K Garage. It's not called that now, but it's Glyn Hopkins, and they sell Nissan, well, presumably Nissans and MG cars. But it's a wonderful building, it really is. So that'll be, I guess that'll go onto something at some point on Instagram. You can see another slip road going off there as well. But that's going to Five Ways Corner, which is in the distance. So there we go. Really good day for doing this video. And I didn't intend to do this particular video, but the one I'm going to be doing for Brutalist London. So from a rather sunny October afternoon, thank you for watching.